it's okay for you to pick a marksman, given that there's not a lot of options coming to the second phase of the draft. So you get a selection, most especially Nets, it is his comfortable hero for the gold lane. And together with that Akai, they would have less to no trouble at all trying to zone out the rest of the members in trying to pick up the major objectives. But instead, it is indeed going to be that Julian picked up this time around by Omega, whereas we usually see Etomax, right? Getting those major type of mages that control the area, or AoE, crowd control type skills. But this time around, Paquito is going to be the option here. We're still not sure if this is going to go to Renzio or will Ryzen unleash the heat with this one.
I actually really love this. Obviously, those two picks can be flexed against each other. That's going to be putting something on the mind of the players of ONIC right now.
It's a double flex.
Love
and you know what? I have a lot of respect for Coach Bluffsy right now because he picked up the Claude early, didn't even keep it to third. And with this Cho pick, it telegraphs essentially where the Akai might go. I'm still 50-50 on that because we have seen EXP Akai.
And Cho Jungle.
Yeah.
We've seen that. Were they the ones who pulled that off? I have to refresh my mind, but we've seen it twice so far in the season. Obviously, it's not super stellar, right? But
it's something.
It is a thing.
It's something. Was it ONIC who did it twice?
It was ONIC.
It
wasn't only twice because it was a full game 3. So it went out 3 games, and then the series lasted with Sensui just using this show over and over again, and they managed to win that series too. So it will just go to show how much, in terms of comfortability, Sensui gets to handle in this one.
But if you know what, still I can't say if it's ONIC. I can't say. Going into the second phase, there's the Franco taken out by ONIC. Omega takes out the Selena. Lovely though, historically speaking, Omega has also fielded a jungle Cho in the playoffs of Season 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, impressive. Again, Chaknu as well is very adept in that hero historically, so lots of flexes can be played on that hero. I think being a pro player previously in the previous seasons, you were kind of required to be at least somewhat knowledgeable in the Cho, so something to really think about as well.
Yep.
You know what I'm thinking about? It's Sensui versus Ryzen. It's the Ghost Fighter matchup.
Yeah.
Love it.
You mean Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
it's that's local. Yu Yu Hakusho, if you guys know.
That's
you know,
like
you
the international term, if I can remember, right? So at some point, it is.
Small, you know, what do you call that? What do you call that? That's like a
a localized title.
Localized thing, yeah.
Okay, yeah. You can say
Easter
that
egg,
too.
there you go. That's an Easter egg for this matchup.
Yeah, that makes more sense now.
Oh, yeah.
But speaking of which, right now, with the bans that we have here, you're taking a look at the differences, right? Rome is lacking for the side of Omega. It's still Chaknu looking forward to his hero. There are not a lot of options available. I mean, Kufra's still there, right? But it can go very well against a Cho and a Claude, so it is a possibility for them to pick that up. And Selena, Eve together, Super Friends might just be a problem, but this is their comfortable hero right over here, man. He steals the show. In other words, he's right over there, where everyone is in terms of the fight. It just, when you thought that you wouldn't expect the guy, he's just there to cut the lanes, cut the minions, and make sure that they will take over the lane equilibrium. But so far, Chaknu, man.
I love it. This little tidbit that just showed up is, it puts the last trivia bit into perspective. Chaknu is ranked #2 all time in assists in the league. 1,838.
Wow.
That's more than 10 times Rapidots so far.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, well, given Chaknu debuted in Season 4.
That is true. And again, one of the, also, you know, he always is in the middle of everything, so not super surprising. But the Lolita pick, though, very much straightforward. So much damage here on the side of Omega.
If you're talking about damage and a win on the trade, I didn't even see this just now. Dairoth
is a big boom boom, yeah.
Renzio is winning this lane against Dare no matter what.
Yeah, and it actually slipped too. So now we're seeing Etomax going to be using this Julian, and Ryzen could potentially go to that jungle position to be able to take that one out. And they're going to have a very good time trying to figure out the XP lane matchups, as right now, as so far, this time around, it is going to be the Sicilian to rack up the composition coming in from ONIC Philippines. I like the scaling coming from the other side, but my concern here is the early game potential coming in from ONIC. If they would be able to at least get the necessary scaling, that they would have contest the turtles as much as they can, create space for Nets to be able to deal the Blazing Duet with immense damage. We've seen them do it before, but against Omega, how will they be able to do it?
Well, that's a big question of if they can actually make it out of the early game, right? I mean, that's a very strong, powerful lineup for the late game. But all you gotta do, all you have is crowd control on the Cho, on the Akai. So
Yep.
I wish them well here in this early game for ONIC.
This is so hard though. ONIC wins on all lanes. All lanes, save for maybe the jungle. But they win all lanes. Unless this is a side lane Paquito, then maybe there has a... No, it's not, because they picked up the Dire off. It's not. One more look at the lineup before we go into the Land of Dawn. Here we go. One of these teams end the night on top of the leaderboards. It's ONIC versus Omega. Here we go. Sensui goes for a purple start, and it's mirrored by Ryzen.
Yup. And again, Sensui using that Demon Slayer to at least get faster in terms of the jungle matchups and the minions that we will actually have to clear out in the first few minutes of the game. And Ryzen, however, goes for that high and dry as an emblem, so he will go forward for that pickoffs in the backside in case they won't be able to take the turtle for themselves. So as much as they want to do it, ONIC Philippines needs to maximize in those objective takings just to be able to take the lead in this game, because again, they have the lead in the fights, and now things are about to roll with Rapido using that Jin Kundo.
Right, again, all they have to do is just not actually die here for ONIC Philippines. Maybe level 4s, and the level 4s...
That's good advice.
Yeah, just don't die.
Solid
You don't need to take any big fights. Hit your level 4s, you're going to have a lot of control with your sorry, I was about to say, your heavy spin. I was about to call it the old name. You have a lot of control on heavy spin. Keep everyone in check, and keep Nets alive. That's the biggest thing here, which is, again, I think Chaknu's kind of aware. Keep Kellera in a good position on the bot lane. You should have a pretty good advantage.
Oh, easier said than done, given the fact that you have here Ryzen, who wants an early start!
Just like that. I mean, Leo mentioned it. That Paquito, man, it can really, really hurt. Early on, gets level 4, way ahead of everybody else since it's a jungler.
Yeah, they honestly maximized up to this point, but so far, attack's gonna happen here, and nothing is about to occur. But I like what Omega is currently doing here, right? Nets, they know that the scaling is going to be up late game. So at some point, Omega is maximizing that potential to hopefully get the necessary gold or the energy shields and take the lead from ONIC. As right now, Turtle's about to be taken by ONIC Philippines.
Interesting. We're so used to seeing ONIC on the aggressive side, or at least in control. Here, they actually used that gold lane weak side to kind of bait Ryzen. They pulled over the aggression.
Yeah, I mean, I think ONIC expected this to happen, right? I mean, easy peasy lemon squeezy on that turtle. There wasn't even time to react for Omega. And that's exactly what you want to see here for a lineup that wants to go super late.
And they took your advice, bro. They did not die.
They did not die.
No deaths yet!
It was just safe gameplay, right? There's not a lot much to say there, but so far they want to go for the energy shields this time on the top side and maximizing it heavy spin.
That could change here as we do see Sensui all the way back to the inner turret. Gets first blood.
Dude, Sensui just took down the father of Yusuke. I looked it up.
Oh my goodness.
I looked it up.
Oh, wow.
That right there is lore.
Decades old inside joke there. If you know, you know. But awesome work by ONIC. Again, this small gold lead is going to go a long way. Again, if the plan is to just not die and keep Nets alive, this 3.5 protect 1.5 again. There's also Nets.
I love the
in mid.
0.5s.
Hold up. Wait.
Like that you estimated it out.
I hate that we did not point this out, but no, it's right. Never mind. They just switched it up. Never mind.
Oh, but look at this. Super Friends might be in trouble here with Etomax and Ryzen coming up through Chaknu's. Oh, love that. Chaknu set, and that's going to be another one. Finally, Omega having one on the board.
What a punish.
That is a good punish.
This is what I actually like about what ONIC is doing. They're punishing the potential pickoffs that Omega is currently doing to them. Because at some point, yes, ONIC wins all of the lanes, but in terms of early game matchup, Omega has the upper hand if they choose to poke the right, to poke the right branches of the map. And so far, they are doing just that, maximizing on the punishing and getting the necessary pickoffs that they would want. 2-0 at 4 minutes into the game. It's not bad, and it's not bad at all. Nets using that Blazing Duet. And if Nets is still safe as of this moment, 0-0-0, locking in that Demon Hunter sword. Absolutely nice for the guy.
Yeah, you gotta commend Omega though. I mean, despite them making these small blunders in the beginning, they got what it takes to go for these fights over and over again, just like that. And finally, some results from all of these sets being done by Chaknu. We got a possible another one here. That's a double.
If I may, the only true win for ONIC in lanes is the jungle, and that's why the early game is so good for them, because they're able to pull the aggression and then set up for the first 4 or 5 minutes. But now we see what Omega actually wants to do, and they leverage that top lane, that XP lane matchup, and you look at the damage that Renji is putting on the board here.
Taking a look at the instant replay, man, and it was good initiation coming in from Chaknu, knowing where to position himself,
Beautiful.
and then it was an immediate burst down to that Esmeralda to be able to be taken out of the equation. And it is now Omega somewhat leading in terms of the gold. Even just a little bit, it is all that counts because you want to get the scaling done. You want to get the economy on your side, 3-2 in terms of kills.
Omega's really maximizing the genius of Chaknu here. And again, just throw as many bullets as you can. You're bound to hit your target at least once.
I'm weirded out because we're so used to, well, from last night, you're so used to seeing the slobber knocker of a lineup that is Miko KLVJ. Seeing Chakno and Etomax feels uncanny to me. It's like, well, what are we watching here? Because the playstyles are so different.
It is,
Yeah.
that is true.
They're just waiting for that right time.
Oh, that's exactly what you want to wait for if you are at the max, if you are Kelra. Some free gold on the map right there for Omega.
This is the slight problem coming in from ONIC Philippines because they have no other way for them to check the vision other than the Bat's impact. So if they don't have that, Chaknu and Etomax can just freely do Task Force Omega and just go around, find another way for them to get the pick off. Rapidoot unaware of the situation.
Oh, it has Chain won't really actually be enhanced, but enough damage gonna come in from the Scythe there. Oh my goodness me, and again, they're not done. Other parts of the map, also a lot of heavy action this time around for ONIC. Trying to get some damage onto Ryzen, but he is going to be slippery enough to go over that wall twice. To be able to make it out there alive.
The mechanic, man, you have to give it to Ryzen at some time. And not only that, because they bought a lot of time onto the top side just so Kelra would be able to take the turrets down bottom. Even without the energy shield, she'll absolutely take that because Omega is now leading at least 2,000 in terms of gold. And in fact, in first position to be able to take that turtle uncontested. Sensui is just on the way for them to be able to get that. And with that macro play that Omega is currently showing us, this just goes to show that they could play either way, right? We've seen micro mechanics coming in from these guys, and now macro gameplay is being showed here, not only taking major objectives, but controlling the area of the map.
This is what Omega wanted to do in the first 5 minutes. It's good that they've actually recovered because, again, the gold lane magnet, the threat magnet that Nets is, magnets, it's what stifled the early, right? It's what stifled the early. So now
That's good.
that
Nice
Omega are finally in the driver's seat, we're more in tune, but now the Mamba.
There you go. Maximizing their crowd control. You got one target on the map, you go take it. That's ONIC with a free kill over the shot.
Worth it though.
Very worth it.
Very worth it because on the other side is Omega taking down another top turret. So there's always trades happening for these guys, and we've seen a while ago that Hunter Strikes were already secured here by 2 members coming from the side of Omega. Blazing Duet!
It's a big pincer on the front, but it's Kelra being worried on at the back, being worked on by Nets. It's going to be a big disengagement. That was very close.
I like the buy here of Antikyras coming in from Rapido just to be able to handle the Blazing Duet or that crossbow of Tang coming in from Kelra. And this is what I like about ONIC Philippines. They need to be able to adjust to the situations. And Subi, 2-1-1 at this point. He's somewhat building onto the defensive items, and that is what you would want from that Akai, just to be able to tank the necessary damage. Because taking a look at the lineups right now, yes, Rapido is right there. There's a lot of CC from the guys, but there's not a lot of damage come mid-game. So hopefully they would be able to do something about it, because right now Omega is just taking the wheel, taking the helm from the side of ONIC Philippines, with Renzio not being able to contribute as much because all he needed to do is to just split the lanes while the rest of Omega is just, you know, showing off on the other sides of the map.
Yeah, Antikyras is very, very good. It's 24%. Against big damage, so that's a big. The percentage really does hit.
Yeah, scale to scale, it's a super economic item, and I'm glad to see that Sensui and Rapidot, the 2 dudes who are carrying the heaviest burden for the scaling lineup, is at least gonna be able to stand up to Kelra and Ryzen, but it might not be just there yet. And we're talking about there, picked up that dominance ice up top. Renzi just gave him too much work to deal with.
That's true.
He hasn't left the lane.
What a good observation, actually. And I don't know, I'm sure it's going to be worth it in the end, but I hope it's not too late for them though.
Yep, and so far, Rapido is about to engage here. He's knocking it in.
That TikTok play is all you want to see there.
No!
Damage will not be enough
Wow.
though.
Mamba forever! Mamba lives!
forever.
The Mamba lives forever, man. I have to say, that was one of the biggest plays of the game because it was a pickup that could potentially put ONIC back in this game. But unfortunately for them, even with Ryzen, the only person staying in this lore, they're not really confident to be able to take it out. So they'll choose Renzio, but Renzio would also do the same thing. This is the mid composition of ONIC coming into play here, already seeing the damage from Super Friends, and the concealed play, instead of initiating, would just be disengaging, just so they would have enough position. As now Rapido.
Yeah, they are looking very, very tight here on the Lord take. Renzio getting into positions, and Zui with the
cancel,
it
though.
pushes 3 people away, but will it be taken? And it will be locked and loaded here for ONIC, but here comes Nets with a blazing duet. Just beautiful work around here with Gelra. He has activated the Wind of Nature, but not really going to help out that much. Entomax is on the run. That's a lot of damage for the bad tip back, and Zui finishes it off.
The headbutt into the finish, 4 down. It's just Kelra standing. What a clap back by ONIC. That was the rubber banding we were waiting for. And Air Savage could not take off.
I can feel that from Leo right now. He was itching to watch that happen.
This just goes to show that the chef moniker is really true, because it was Rapid with starting it off with that Jit Kundo. Right after that heavy spin, the layering, the icing on the cake was that falling Star Moon, and it was just up to Nets to land. Malefic Roar has already been secured, so enormous damage is going to be felt here. And it is, you know, ONIC turning things around once again with just one team fight. They're able to get the necessary items just to be able to continue with the initiations that they've been doing, locking in 1.6k in terms of the gold. Now, this is the slight problem we're talking about Omega, because you are concerned with how the setups are going to be done, because you want to have the Lolita in like a difficult or dark position, not to be able or not to be seen, right? But given that most of the members of Omega are stuck in the base, hold on, I have to retract my statement because they're going to charge at this moment.
That's right, locking and loading on the right. Bobbing and weaving on the left. I think they are getting ready for a big one again.
Do they know?
I don't know. What do you think? These itemizations right now look really crisp, by the way.
The way ONIC is playing, I think they do.
Yeah.
Something tells me they've seen the situation more than once.
Yeah. I wonder where. And again, all of this is going to culminate later in for sure in this Lord fight coming up next. They know how important this next one's going to be.
But so far, I like the itemizations coming in from that from Nets and Super Friends. Super Friends currently locking in that Winter Truncheon and the Lightning Truncheon in the same way, just to be able to provide the necessary damage and the slow in the same way as Nets in this specific moment, because you want Nets to be able to dish out the damage. So he's not building up that defensive item, that immortality this late in the game. Actually, it's still midpoint, so what am I talking about? At some point, Super Friends and Nets should be protected here, and it is now there on the bottom side, just trying to do what he has been doing all season, right? Cutting out the minion waves, giving the lane equilibrium to ONIC, and giving Omega a little bit of trouble in trying to figure out how they would be able to take this Lord, because in less than 15 seconds, it will be spawning right over here. And usually this is the bush, right? That controls the wave of this matchup right over here. And Rapido and the rest of the members of ONIC have already managed to control it. With Entomax and Shaknu needs to have a better position in terms of that setup, because of that Numinum Blast can change the tides of this game. We've seen that countless times in this matchup, and hopefully they would be able to do that, because right now the Lord's in about 85% of health.
Yep.
It's a tough go here. And are we seeing shades of the Lord's Dance from Blacklist and ONIC last night?
Yesterday, oh my god.
And not just next play in Omega as well. They showed us shades of such control over this major objective. By the way, Luminous Lord now.
Yeah.
14 minutes in, scaled up 1 notch.
A near 3-minute Lord Dance with what we saw yesterday. I wonder if these guys are going to beat it. But judging from Omega's lineup, they seem to be ready to go anytime. They got some damage and they really want to use it.
This is that lineup. This is that lineup that can go that far.
True.
The control that Entomax and Shaknu have.
but they're about to disengage it
there's
once
a
again
reset.
and try to reset it one more
But
time.
you know why? You know why? Because they found one. They found someone on the side who might have been able to get picked up, but not really. They're going to be able to make it out live. Nuno Blast is charged up by Chaknu. Lord is quite low. Ryzen is within range. Here comes the conceal play, but the reset happens instead. No one held the Lord.
Nah, bro. They're used to it so much that they're about to do it again. But hold on. 30% now left. What will they be able to do with Sensui at the helm?
That's right. This is a very, very low HP Lord. Sensui is getting ready. He is waiting for Ryzen to make a move.
He's got to spin. He's got to spin.
He's got to do it.
Watch out.
He's got to do it. The enhanced chain is out.
Spin.
You got an opening here.
One
And I
gonna
think
get
that's
third.
exactly what they're going to do. Sensui, he's not going to get stifled. He will not be stopped. And he will secure the Lord.
What an immediate way for them. They waited for that right moment to skadoosh their way to get that Lord. And it was indeed another major objective for the side of ONIC Philippines. Locking it in with that Claude coming in from Nets already in full build. So this will be the start of the team fight portion for ONIC Philippines come 15 minutes and 42 seconds into this matchup. And in the same way, you also like the build-up coming in from Super Prince, because at some point in 15 or almost 16 minutes of the matchup, you haven't really seen him contributed as much because you want him to be in a better position to be able to deal the best impact. So this is what I like about ONIC Philippines. They're not forcing any type of team fight. And in the same way, right now, Ryzen's about to get picked off.
Yeah, Omega said, you don't want a team fight? We'll take the fight to you. Straight up into the face after the Immortality Abyssum Strike hits.
That's a lot of ults spent down bottom. And this push by ONIC is surgical. They know exactly what they need to do. And I gotta say, as soon as I saw the green on Sensui, as soon as I saw that he had the heavy spin, I knew he had a whooshy finger hold on the Lord. That's as good as a lethal counter.
Perfect.
That's
exactly.
as good as a lethal counter. If you can space out the rest of your opponent, 2 or 3 of them, he doesn't care. Retribution's gonna get the job done.
Played so confidently, just stood there in front. No one's gonna come here. You can't take this. Just like Chaknu right now being punished heavily for even trying to check that bush. Chaknu charges the Numinal Blast though, will be hitting their mark. Rapido is stopped, he's okay. Sensui is on the left, but Nets is doing some damage here to Ryzen. With the help of the Numinon Energy Core, keeps Ryzen alive.
Hold on, man. It's almost done. It's actually done. So at some point, they managed to actually get all the skills done, but without any casualties. So at some point, you have to give it to Omega, only losing 1 inhibitor turret from that team fight, and actually managed to threaten ONIC Philippines from taking down one of themselves. And I actually have to give it to Ryzen in that positioning from the backside. You know, taking down the purple objective, there's not a lot for Sensui, and Sensui doesn't have this purple objective of his own now. So at some point, it is a lead coming in from Omega in terms of trying to figure things out, in terms of the take that they have, knowing that in more or less than 30 seconds, ONIC Philippines and Omega will fight for the Lord again.
We're moments away from Omega hitting their damage output peak. Their lineup doesn't scale as well as ONIC, so they're gonna have to make up for it in mechanics. You mentioned how the flank happened for Ryzen. I'm wondering if they're gonna get it again, because ONIC is so good at taking these bushes.
Yeah.
That's true.
This is prime position for this Lord.
That's why Chaknu's sitting right here. Like, it's so difficult for them to actually check these bushes on his own.
It's all they can get.
He always gets punished, if you notice, right? So that's something that they're really, really looking at. Do we try to go for something here? Chaknu can't do it alone. He has to do it with the rest of the team here. And he's doing this Lord check.
Oh, look at this. Sensui
Round 2.
guarding the Lord like the Dragon Warrior guards the Jade Palace. It's so good.
man.
And he still has that spin.
Yeah, he's got this for sure. He's got good control. Unless Chaknu can kind of catch multiple people out here, we will probably see a replay of what we saw earlier. And right now, Chaknu is the guy who is in trouble. Immortality gets taken out, and that's 5 people from ONIC taking him out without any punishment at all.
That is a wonderful Chaknu pickoff, but Kelro's confidence here is making it happen for themselves. They don't want the Lord though. He's mad.
This guy's mad. He's flying. There's Air Savage.
And he knocks up 1.
And more will probably follow, but not for long here. We got the rest of the ONIC lineup going in for the chase. There is going 1v3 on the bottom side. And that is going to be ONIC still looking like they are still in control of this Lord area, but Keller just doesn't seem it just seems unfazed here.
Not the perfect target. The fact that it's Rapidot who died and not Nets nor Super Friends, it leaves Omega thinking this is a 50-50, still a 50-50.
And he even got Winter Truncheon here with his crossbow tank, so that was a big boo-boo, big damage removed there from Kelra.
Yeah, and in the same way, they are now in position to be able to take this Lord first. I like the Blade of Hephaestus secure there by Ryzen, so at some point, more damage to the jungle creeps will happen. But Kelra here, concealed play is about to happen too.
Yeah, Chaknu, he's mad. He wants some of that revenge. Bulwark gonna be blocking out some of that feast, but look at this. They are in position against
Here we
Sensui
go
and
again.
ONIC. The rest of the ONIC squad are very, very healthy. They could go for something. He's trying to pull up the Lord. He's trying to get the grasp of this. And I don't know.
Stacks, check the stacks.
Look at the stacks, man.
Can Air Savage take off?
Oh man, I don't think so. It's not active. It's a reset activated here, and Rapido looks like he's in trouble.
Shamrock goes down!
That is a huge misstep here. What will Omega do about this? We'll have to find out. Kelra.
Kelra is doing it again.
He's really, really trying to sink his teeth in the dare here.
Run, Dare, run! Oh, he's gonna
Not
go
over
down.
there, man.
That's a
Not
dead
over
dare.
there.
Dare is dead.
There is actually down. They managed to get 2 pickoffs courtesy of who? Kelra, that's who. And it is another one taken. The Lord has been managed to occur here. Good zoning potential coming in from Chaknu and Etomax just to be able to zone the rest of the members out. And the brave, the boldness of Kelra just to be able to initiate in terms of that team fight and continuously try and figure things out because of the lock items that he already has here. The Windtalker, Malefic Roar, together with Athena Shield, so there's not a lot of options for them to do.
This is what I was talking about. They were going to hit the peak of their damage output, but that's not what makes Kelra the Filipino savage. It's his game sense, his IQ, the fact that he knew that I don't need to press the ult here yet. I don't need to. We need to take out 2 more dudes.
The patience.
And then eventually they do. So now it's closer to a close match. I can't believe that at 21 minutes against a lineup that scales the way ONIC does, Omega still has it.
Yeah, Omega used to have Chaknu as the X Factor. Now they got more than that. We got Kelra as well with that beautiful game sense like you mentioned. And they're really dominating despite ONIC supposedly being the stronger scaling team here.
Here they are. They're taking inhibitors, and slowly they're going to start taking the base.
They really are, and there is no stopping Kelra right now unless ONIC can do some miracle play. Chaknu releases the hammer. Will not be hitting anybody. Etomax on the side has to take the enhanced sword out. For the meantime, it is a reset once more. Defense activated by ONIC.
Okay, back to the breather. ONIC's used to this. ONIC knows that they need to do this. So with that being said, if you're ONIC, who do you catch? Because again, Sensui and Rapidot, slowly what I'm seeing is they're getting overloaded. The heavy spin and the way the dragon can only really do so much. So who do you take down? Is it so easy to say, just go for Kelra? Can they do that?
I don't know, man, but for sure right now, Omega says, I want to go for everybody. Chaknu hits that. Oh, not really going to be enough. Oh my goodness. That's an easy kill there for ONIC. They didn't really exert much, and they're on the chase for Renzio right now. He's in trouble. He hits the wall. Oh my god, that small thing, that small boo-boo just resulted in 2 down for Omega.
There's your answer, man. Who do we need to pick off? All we need is one. Whoever it may be, if it's Chaknu that we pick off, there's not going to be any setup. If there's Diroth, there's not going to be any way for them to block the tomb damage in. So at some point, all you need is to just one, and the rest will follow.
The Mamba and the showstopper. I could have sworn if it was Etomax or Kelra, it would have hurt more, but this actually stings. The fact that Lord isn't coming 20 seconds from now, and that they were inside the base. Yes, they took the inhibitors, but I'm thinking now it's not worth it.
I mean, at this point, Omega are very much in trouble. ONIC's not even waiting for the Lord. They want to go straight up into the base. We got a spinning Sensui on the side, and Etomax he can't survive long against that. Oh my goodness, and it's going to be Kelra against the world. That's a crossbow tag activated already. I don't know what else they can do about it, but Omega are able to defend.
With just 3 heroes, man. They were able to defend that, but at the cost of the crossbow of Tang, which will, cool down in just a few seconds. So at some point, it is worth it for the team. But now, it's ONIC Philippines getting in first position to be able to take this Lord out. But the problem here is Omega is now at full house just without Etomax, so there's not going to be a lot of true damage and knockup to happen. But ONIC Philippines with 5 members in, you have to take note though, because Ryzen has that tendency to push all the way through, and we've seen that countless times before, and hopefully ONIC would be able to take that into consideration, lower the 50%.
Right now, ONIC's consideration is just the Lord here, and they want to get rid of Chaknu. He is low.
Oh.
Numen is casted on the side.
Oh, he's
It's nothing but
flying!
net. Right now, though, it is going to be Nets going down on the side. Ryzen, like you mentioned, he's going full stack against the ONIC squad. That's 2 down. That's double kill. Oh my goodness, and they're going for more here. That's going to be Satsui down as well with a triple.
Oh Lord, just 2 defenders left. What are you gonna do with the Lord? And all of your opponents coming in. It's 10 seconds before the Lord comes back.
No way, and that's going to be up to Rapiduk as well. Here's that Omen flash, and he gets taken out.
That's the
Rapiduk
end.
on the side.
Chef your base. Chef.
Oh man.
That's game 1 going on.